Hey, happy Sunday. We're going to start the broadcast here in a few seconds. Starting a little early today. And the reason being is because we have to get so many different things now situated. So many different things we have to get together in order to make these broadcasts, which should be just simple at its nature, right? Grabbing a phone, walking around. But now with the app and the website and YouTube and Facebook, it's like moving mountains to do this. So anyway, we're going to get going. I'm going to let it get to 1,000. We're going to have a 30-minute walk and talk. I'm just going to do the one block. We're going to focus in pretty much on one topic or related to the one topic, which is going to be about Trump, obviously. And we'll go about that. All right, we got our crowd up very quickly. Okay. I'm going to give you a little warning. We've been together now. Some of you and me, we've been together for 7 years. Some of you have been with me for a year, ever since I had my show. And many of you are new to me. We've been together since before the election. All right, doggy. Easy, buddy. I'm going to say something to you that I know, because you've known me now for a while, you know not to have a knee-jerk reaction to. Those of you who are very new to me, I ask you to hold on before you pass judgment and hang up the phone, so to say. We're going to talk about what took place yesterday with Sean Spicer and this whole thing about audience size at the inauguration. I first want to say and repeat what I said the other day during the inauguration ceremonies, if you will, after it had all taken place. I had left. I had started to broadcast. I apologize for those broadcasts in the sense that they were terrible connections. This was something we were all suffering through. I took a look at other people like myself who are the smaller media, if you will. We're not the Foxes, we're not the CNNs. I looked at the feeds of the guys like myself who were out on the street. Everybody's feed sucked. And it's because so many people were tapping in to a limited amount of broadband. Plus, I would like to think that the government probably had their hand on the controls to try to protect against any kind of attacks or anything like that. That would be done via cellular or drone or something to that nature. So I apologize for that. But anyway, one of the things I said to you was that there are two, aside from my children being born and my marriage to my wife, our wedding day, there are two moments in my life that stand out more than any others. Number one was on a negative end. That was my experience of 9/11. Hopefully I never matched that. The second was watching Donald J. Trump be sworn in as president. And the reason why that's such a big event for me is not because I am some cult follower of Donald J. Trump. I've never met him. We know a lot of the same people. I mean, very, very good friends with a lot of the same people. I've told you before that Mary's uncle, who I have complete and utmost respect for, has done business with Donald Trump every day for the past 30 years. And yet with all the connections we have, we've never met. I'll be the first one to call him out when he does something wrong. But the reason why I got so excited, and the reason why it was one of the most special days of my life, was because I explained to you that for the past 7-8 years, I've been traveling this country, meeting people like yourself, veterans, moms, dads, people down on their luck, people trying to do all they can, rich people trying to make a difference. And it always feels like you're shoveling sand into the tide. It keeps coming back at you because you got Obama doing everything that is opposite of what is right. And I don't mean right versus left, I mean right versus wrong. You get a guy like Trump, he's going to get up there and give a speech that says, I'm giving the country back to you. I'm not going to forget about you anymore. This is about the forgotten man and woman. This is your election. You know, America first. I mean, he said it didn't matter whether you were black, brown, or white. Those exact same words. We all bleed the same patriotic red. And yet, You know, and I'm so excited. It's one of the greatest days because I know that despite some of his shortcomings, despite once in a while when his ego gets in the way, that by and large, this man has a huge heart. And he truly, truly wants to fix this country. Now, when he first announced and he came down the escalators, I made a speech when I was filling. I didn't have a speech. It was I don't know what you call it, a monologue. This was before I had my Newsmax show. I was filling in for somebody, and I had said, I'd done a monologue about Donald Trump's ego. The thing went crazy. I think it had 4, 5 million, 6 million plays within a week. And what I said at that time is different than what I say this time in terms of his ego. Back then, his ego was so huge. Everything was all about him. Everything. When he walked down those escalators, it was all about him. And I said, let the ego work for you. Because he knows that he wants to have his face on Mount Rushmore. But he's smart enough to know, because he's a business guy, the only way he's going to get there is if he really fixes the problems. And if you don't like his ego, so be it. Let it work for you. Because in order for him to get what he needs, in order for him to feed that ego, he's going to have to fix these problems and let that win for you. Okay. I watched this man every day for 18 months. And when I say every day, it's not like your every day. It's every day. I work 7 days a week. I have a website that is nonstop 24/7. I've been working all day today. We're short on staff because it's Sunday. I've been up since 6 o'clock. I have not stopped working. In fact, this walk right now is screwing me up. I got articles to write. I got stuff to assign to people. I have been watching him every day. I had a show to fill every single night at 9 p.m. I had an hour. Most of it was always about Trump. I have watched this man go from being an egotistical candidate who just wanted to get up there and tell you about all of his successes to a president who truly in his heart wants to fix this country for you. Doesn't mean he's not still egotistical, but his ego has taken a back seat to almost everything else that's in front of him. What's in front of him are veterans committing suicide, Americans out of work, ISIS, a border that is wide open, taxes that are too high, Obamacare, which is just absolutely destroying the job market and the health industry and people's ability to go out and keep themselves healthy. The list is long, and you don't need me to give it to you. His ego has taken the backseat to those things. And so I've watched him make this change. But along the whole way, the media has never changed. Well, that's not necessarily true. They hated Trump in the beginning, but they loved him for his ratings. Now they just hate him because he won. See, they thought this man was going to fade off into ridiculousness, but he didn't fade off to ridiculousness. He emerged. He started a movement. He allowed you. He enabled you. He empowered you to get up and say, I don't like what's going on. And you could call me a racist. You could call me a misogynist. You could call me a whatever you want to. I'm not a hater. I'm not a liar. I just don't like what's happening in my country. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. That's what he did. And in doing so, although I don't think he intended any of this to happen, he has exposed so many different things in this country. He has exposed how the Democrats are really the violent crew. You know, they always try to make it as if you are a Republican, you are evil. If you are a liberal, you are successful. It's actually the other way around. The videos that James O'Keefe have put out clearly show the violent streak that is inside these people, the anger and the meanness and the vile that fuels their every day. We have learned that they are willing to lie, cheat, and do whatever it is to the American people for as long as they get to keep their power. They get to keep their money. We learned everything we needed to know about Hillary Clinton and all those emails. And despite the fact that they were obtained in an unethical manner, they still contained content which was even greater in terms of its being unethical. DML's falling short on words there. The Democrats are a lost party. And so they can't accept the fact that we have finally gotten our act together, because for the longest time, conservatism needed a makeover. And Donald Trump was the person who helped that makeover happen. He shined that light on the media. We have seen, although I've already known this, you have really come to learn how dishonest these people are. They will do anything, and then they'll pretend as if it doesn't exist. Now, all of that said, here comes the part where I don't want you to have the knee-jerk reaction. Donald J. Trump yesterday made an epic mistake. And these are the sort of mistakes that I guess we're going to have to deal with at the very beginning. But I hope they stop. Sean Spicer going out and having that impromptu press conference was a mistake. And I am willing to bet every dime in my pocket that if Kellyanne Conway had been asked whether she thought that that was a smart thing to do, she would have said no. I doubt she was conferred on this. Now, I'm not beating up on Trump because I'm going to defend him first. I'm going to defend him first, and I'm going to talk to you as if I were talking to him, as if I was in the room with him, and I said, hey, listen, you're in the forest right now, and you can't see the trees. Let me be your guide, just for this one moment in time. Donald Trump has laid a road. He's laid a path. That path is called Make America Great Again. He has identified things that we have to do as a nation to get to that place of making America great again. We all take part in that achievement that will come to fruition. I sure hope it does. We all played a part in getting him elected. We must all play a part in having that happen, that Make America Great Again. You know, he sort of tagged already his line for 4 years from now. He said, hey, let's register, Keep America Great Again. Okay, well, we got to get there first. And the only way that we get there is if our leader, Donald J. Trump, stays on that path. He must lead us on that path. He doesn't have to do the work for us, but he must lead us on that path. That's what leadership is. If he gets off that path, you and I don't stand a chance. We don't stand a chance, because without our leader leading the way, we are not going to be able to get to that final destination. That's what leadership is. When I was at the inauguration the other day, many of you probably saw that I went to one of the protests. I happened to fall upon it where Michael Moore was speaking. And I went up to him and I called him a despicable human being. Took a shot to the side by somebody. I was surrounded by all these despicable human beings. But aside from that, Michael Moore said something when he was on that stage, which ties into this right now. He said that for the next 100 days, we are going to put in a massive resistance towards this man. And he says it's going to be easy. It's going to be easy because Trump is easy to penetrate. And the way you penetrate him is through his ego. He does not have thick skin. You call him names, you shoot at that ego, you kick at that ego, you win. We win. Michael Moore's right. I hate that son of a gun. I mean, I really do. I hate few things and few people in my life. Michael Moore's on the list. He's right. They are going to try to take our president and drag him on another road. They understand how to bait him. You have to understand that aside from Fox News, who, by the way, sometimes has blood on its hand, They are all going to be together. They are going to collude together in the same way they tried to collude together in getting Hillary elected. They are going to try to collude to get him down. They know that they have to pull him off the road to make America great again. Because that's the name of the road. Make America Great Again Highway. They got to pull him off to the side. They got to get him off track. And the way to do that, his weakness, because everybody has a weakness. We all have a weakness. Donald J. Trump's weakness is his ego. Donald J. Trump is going to bite their bait. We're screwed. You're screwed, Donald. So if I was sitting down with him, if I was next to Kellyanne Conway, if I was Sean Spicer, I say, Mr. President, please don't send me out there. Not because I can't take the heat. I'll take a bullet for you if I have to. But don't do that to yourself. Don't let them on day one start shooting us down. Now, you can say, well, it was a lie, DML. They're putting out lies about how many people were at the inauguration, and it's not fair. Okay. At 30 million people watched on television versus 37 million when it was Obama. And I wrote an op-ed this morning that says, listen, that's not even a fair number, because back in 2009, we didn't have live streaming. There was no Facebook Live back then. You kidding me? Back then, it was almost still like dial-up. Now, how many people are watching online and streaming online? So those numbers aren't relative anymore. I shouldn't have to say this to Donald J. Trump. He should know this. The mainstream media knows this, but they bait him. And he buys the bait. He bites into it. He shouldn't. Even if Barack Obama had 37 million people and he only had 30 million, who gives a damn? You got the prize, man. You got what they want to take from you. You are the man. Don't let them pull you off this road. Stay on the road. In the news, in television, we use a word called narrative. You have to control the narrative. When I had my television show, nobody ever, that's why it was so popular, nobody ever controlled the narrative with me. I never lost control of who was across from me. Even if the person I was interviewing across from me was smarter than me, I controlled the narrative. And if I saw that that person was going to pull me in a way that I couldn't win, I pulled them back. I didn't fall for the trap. Donald Trump cannot fall for these traps. He's just got to smile, grin, and Ronald Reagan it to death. That's what Ronald Reagan did. I'm going to go back this way. Ronald Reagan won over the press and won over the country, despite the fact that the media hated Ronald Reagan. They hated him. They despised him. And you know what Ronald Reagan did? He smiled them to death. He joked them to death. And he ignored them to death. He forced them into his corner. He forced them to play his game. Donald Trump is that smart. But he's got to remove what doesn't matter. Now, yeah, they put out a tweet that said, oh, he removed Martin Luther King Jr. Saying they're doing whatever they can. No, Donald, you can still control the narrative. You can still do your part in forcing back the media to be honest again. And if they can't be honest, they'll be eliminated. You don't fall to their trap. You don't send out Sean Spicer on the very first time he's going to be in front of the American public and have him say more people watch this inauguration than any other inauguration ever around the globe. You just don't do that. Because now what you do is you take Kellyanne Conway, who, by the way, is the single best person I've ever seen on television. I always say, yeah, you know what? I'll debate anybody. Ooh, I'd hate to debate her. She is something else, man. She, I'm telling you right now, is our greatest asset in this entire administration, Kellyanne Conway. That woman today was on television all day long defending why it is that Spicer was out there. If we're talking about Spicer and the audience level at an inauguration, we are losing. We are losing if that's the conversation. We need to be talking about the CIA and why it is that Trump was at the CIA and got a 5-minute standing ovation. Not about whether or not 30, 32, 37, or 40 million people were at inauguration. They want to write that Donald J. Trump removed the Martin Luther King Jr. statue. Just put a picture back and say, no, he didn't. What are you talking about? Don't lie to the American people. And move forward. That's it. You don't stand Spicer up there and put him on that stage and do that. You have set the tone. There is a way to be the bull in the China store and not get tripped up. And so I would tell you, Mr. President, if I'm sitting down, I'd say, I love you. I voted for you. I fought for you. I'll take the bullet for you. I'll do whatever I got to do. But we need you to lead the path. And it's day one. And yeah, all these women from all over the world are sitting here and bitching and moaning and marching to crap. Don't let that burn you. You have 10 times that amount of women sitting at home loving you. Don't let these women burn you. You've been in the office for 8 hours, and they want to blame all the things they're crying about on you? Where was the March for Obama? Be smarter. Madonna. What mother would look at Madonna and say, wow, I'm proud that that's my daughter? Look at the signs that you saw across the country with profanity. Women, I mean, in some cases, these women, I mean, really? You're looking for respect? And that's what you're putting out? Donald, the majority of people in this world and in this country look at that day and say, my goodness, what is wrong with these people? That's where he has to fall into. Now, to his defense, he's fought so hard. And I told you this the other day, and I think when you understand this about him, you can understand what's fueling this. He's a loving man. He's got a huge heart. He really wants to make America great again. That ego, as I explained, has transitioned. He really is here for you. He's really here for me. I believe that. And I'm a hard guy to sell. I'm not going to fall for anybody's sale job. I believe it. I believe the 18 months that he has gone around and got kicked in the nuts and got kicked in the shins and got every single last thing thrown at him, and he's still standing. It's knocked him down a little inside and in the heart. Because, oh man, how many bad things you want to really say about me? I'm a good man. I'm a good man. Why are you doing this? Why are you putting these falsehoods out against me? Why are you doing it? So it hurts him. And nobody likes to be hurt. And what I'm trying to convey to him, let me be very clear to you. It's easier said than done. It's easier said when I'm outside the trees looking in. It's hard, man. He's a human being. He's a human being with a heart and feelings. This guy doesn't hate blacks. He doesn't hate women. He doesn't hate anybody, I think, except for Rosie O'Donnell, who, by the way, earned every last lick of hatred that she gets from him. And so what he does is that he says, hey, don't you hurt me. Remember we had this conversation? We've had it now twice. We had it last week, and we had it about a month ago. You asked me, what's the worst for you, DML? Getting pissed off or getting hurt? Getting hurt. And that probably answers for the rest of you. What hurts more? When some stranger steals your car or your brother steals your wallet? Your brother stealing your wallet. It's not about the money that was taken. The stranger, it's the money that was taken. Your brother, it's like, how did you do that to me? So the real crime is not the money stolen, it's the act done. And Donald Trump is saying, wait a second, man. I'm here, I'm saying Americans first, and you're telling me that's a dark speech? What do you want me to say? If I said Americans last, you'd come up and tell me that I'm champion for Russia. The guy can't win. He can't win. And so he has to really sit back. He's got to let all this pomp and circumstance and who was in the stands and who wasn't in the stands and who was there that day and who wasn't there that day and the reasons why they were or were not. Yeah, it could have been the cold and it could have been the rain. It could have been the fact that it costs a lot of money to come in from North Dakota versus coming in from Maryland. You know, I told you this yesterday. The Accelaway, the Amtrak that runs from Boston to Washington It's filled with one stop after the next. Liberal, liberal, liberal. Philadelphia, Maryland, Delaware, Connecticut. I mean, that's why they all come in droves. Doesn't cost a whole lot to get a $50 train ticket. But when you're from North Dakota and South Dakota and Nebraska and from Texas and from all these other different states, it costs a lot of money to go to inauguration. A lot of these people voted for Trump simply for the fact that they don't have any more money in their pocket. They're looking for a better America. They can't put down $2,000 to come stand for 5 hours and show their support. So they show their support on television, or they show their support through their phone, or maybe they couldn't even watch because the inauguration was on Friday at 11:30, 12 o'clock, and these people have to work. These are the things that Donald J. Trump has to recognize, and he has to recognize them as insignificant. You are the president. Chuck Todd from NBC is a wannabe. He's a guy with a microphone who's going to try to throw his elbows around to incite you into doing something stupid. Michael Moore can barely walk. He looks like he hasn't showered in a month. He is an absolute loser. There was the first time, we're both filmmakers, the first time I've ever seen him. He's worse in person than he is in television. He's disgusting. You're going to let guys like this get under your skin? You can't let it happen, man. You can't let it happen. You are the most powerful man in the world. Chuck Todd, MSNBC, CNN, Dennis Michael Lynch. We're irrelevant when it comes to the power you wield. Don't fall to the traps that these people are going to set. And if you think today and yesterday was bad, oh, President Trump, every single day for the rest of your presidency, you are going to have to deal with being lied about, screwed to the hilts. You are fighting an ocean. The good news is that you got strong wind, like myself and these people here listening to me today. Millions of people across tens of millions of people around the country, and hundreds of millions of people around the world. We're the wind behind your back. We can get you through these choppy seas. You can lead us with that wind behind you. You can lead us to make America great again. And as the Ethiopian girl said to me yesterday, make the world great again. But you gotta keep your head about you. This is the part, and this is hard for guys like Trump and Lynch. Let me tell you, most of the mistakes that I've made in my life, and maybe you can relate, is when I've let my emotions take over. You want to be emotional? You be emotional when you hug your grandchild or your daughter. You be emotional when you're at a wedding. You be emotional when you're at a funeral. But you know, Donald, there's no place for emotion in business. This is business, man. This is war and business combined in a way we have no room for emotion. We have no room for emotional ego. We only have one way, and that is to keep our heads about us. That is to be strong-willed. It is to be strong-backboned. It is to believe in what this road and path to making America great again is all about. You must have tunnel vision. You cannot let anything, anybody, any article, any title, any news clip, any movie throw you off that path. They throw you off that path, and you take the whole train with you, man. You take the whole train with you. And all of us who love you and support you and donated to you, we want to see you on Mount Rushmore. We want to put you there because we want regular health care back. We want our borders closed. We want our veterans protected and our military strong. We want our taxes to come down. We want the race baiting to stop. We want the police to be treated in the way that they should be treated, with the respect and love of a man and woman who puts their life on the line every single day for the people who they serve. That's what we want. That's a tall order, because all of those things right now are swimming at the bottom of the sewer because Barack Obama pushed them down there. And he's got every single last possible media outlet and television show. I mean, Saturday Night Live is supposed to be making people laugh, and they're singing love songs to Barack Obama the day after you're inaugurated. They are singing love songs to Barack Obama. I don't think any of us, including you, Mr. President, envisioned this was going to be the level of resistance and war and despicable behavior that we would face. But it is. So as far as I'm concerned, you got one of three choices. You either got to snap up and ship up and get it all together real fast, or you going to just waste the 18 months and the 4 years you have chasing morons who are going to make you chase them down the road that you do not deserve or want or we want to take. The third choice is to step back and remember all those people who came out to your rallies. All those people who you kept on saying, turn the camera around, show all these people. Well, they were never shown. But it doesn't mean they weren't there, my friend. It doesn't mean that they didn't have a presence because MSNBC or NBC or CBS or ABC would not give them airtime. They were there. Some of these people, you said it in your own words. Some of these people, you said it at the ball. Some of these people came 40 times to see you, and yet they never got one clipping on television. Does that dilute that? Does that take it away? You could have all the rallies and all the marches and all the BS that they want to have every single day, whether it's for you or against you. You had people coming out for you every single last day. And Mr. President, one-on-one, me and you, mano a mano, sitting in a room. I know what that feels like. I walk 7 days a week. I'm not watching a football game right now with my young boy because I'm out here talking to these people. Why? Because they show up every single day. It means something to them. I'm never going to meet these 7,200 people. But I know that they're relying on me to give them honesty and to take us down a path to make the media great again. That's what you got to remember, man. That's the third choice you have. To revert back to where you controlled the narrative, to where you dictated what it was that the news put on. You had that control. You actually held them in the palm of your hand. They were all licking up to you. Oh, please, can you be on my show? Now they don't need you on the show anymore because you are the show. Come on, Donald, Mr. President. You're smarter. No, this is not a critique and a criticism of any ill will. This is me telling you from one guy who knows what can happen when you put your emotions in front of everything else. You make mistakes. And I don't want to see you do that. Not for you, not for me, not for these people, not for America or the world. And that's that. So, now that I have basically drained myself, but at least I got out what I wanted to say that has been in me since I saw Sean Spicer, and I was like, what are we doing? Well, I feel much better now. And Mr. Donald J. Trump, president, the man I voted for, the man you voted for, he's probably figured out already what I said. I wouldn't worry much if I were you. But I will tell you this, make no mistake, we are in for a battle 10 times bigger than we thought. In fact, as a side note, as I approach my car here, many of you know Harlan. I refer to him all the time. For those of you who don't, he's a guy on Fox News. He's a guy who used to be on my television show. He is now a member of Team DML. And I said to him last night, we went out to dinner while we were in DC. I said, you know, we're going to need to accelerate all this. We're going to need to make it bigger and faster and stronger than we thought. And he said, yeah, we are. I picked up the phone. I said, Scarlett. Also, Scarlett's another person, right, I've hired already. I said, I want you to move from Texas to New York. She's like, you serious? I said, yeah, we're going to need you here in New York. We're going to build a big New York warehouse where we have all of our news sets. We'll have a little tiny office in New York City, so we have a presence. We're going to have to open up one from Washington, D.C., but I need you here. She's like, all right, DML. So let me tell you, I appreciate in the biggest way all the support that you've given us. And I'm telling you right now, I'm probably going to be asking you for more within the weeks to come. So far, I've shown you that I'm for real. We've built the apps. Our numbers are skyrocketing. Built the apps. We're 24/7. We never stop. I've been hiring these great people. We have a new website coming out. I told you where you're going to have a voice. It's going to have a whole thing for you, set for you, to where it is that you put out your own op-eds. You'll put out your own stuff. We're going to have everything. We are going. Fox News can't do this alone. And I don't even trust Fox News to do it alone. All right? And the Blaze can't do it because he's a lost soul. And Newsmax sucks. And there's really nobody else. We need to have another massive presence, both video and written. And I am your guy. Okay? So, that said, I hope the Green Bay Packers can put it together. For those of you in Atlanta, sorry. For those of you in Green Bay, go Cheese. Aside from that, till tomorrow at 11:40 a.m. Eastern Time. God bless you. God bless our troops. God bless America. And God bless our president, for he is in the biggest battle any of us imagined. All right. If you haven't gotten the app yet, I don't know what you're doing. You better get it. Go to search for Dennis Michael Lynch at the App Store for Apple, or the Play Store on Google. Dennis Michael Lynch, download it. It's free. You need it. That's why our numbers are growing. People are getting it. We've had over 20,000 people download the thing, or 20, I don't even know, 25,000, 20,000, I don't know what it is. And they're just going, thank goodness for all the stuff that you guys are sending us. There you go. All right. And then also, Instagram. My daughter gets mad when I don't say this. Instagram. DML is my dad. Pictures up there. You can see me in a jail cell. Yeah. Just put that up yesterday. A little surprise there. And that's it. If you want to help us out, I'm going to tell you right now, DennisMichaelLynch.com/donate. We took in almost $300,000 from you. We have spent it on nothing but building this thing. And so I could use more. We're going to keep on building and building. And you'll be able to keep on seeing it. Ain't like I'm going to hide it from you. All right? If you're not seeing it one day, you say, DML, what are you doing? Well, there you go. We're working like crazy. All right, DML, you're officially driving without your seatbelt on and talking to the phone at the same time. Many laws being broken. That is not you. It is not safe. Get off the phone. Adios, amigos.